Amazing detail has emerged from this hearing. We obviously already know that Anthony Joshua fortunately, miraculously survived that crash, but it now appears at the beginning of the journey he was actually sat in front where one of his friends was tragically killed. It's appeared that the driver of that car, Mr. Coyote Edeni, who has been charged with manslaughter and reckless driving, had actually asked him to swap seats because he couldn't see the wing mirror on the offside because of the large frame of Anthony Joshua. So he swapped seats and then went and sat behind the driver, which, as we know now, saved his life, because a few hours later that car was involved in a tragic, horrific accident when it ploughed into the back of a stationary truck carrying soya beans on the highway just outside Sagamu. And we know also as well from that hearing that Joshua and his friends had only just arrived in Nigeria to spend the week here. The driver, as I say, has been granted bail and he is expected to be released from that correctional facility at the beginning of next week. And he will.
Welcome back to the King Josiah TV podcast, where the show was created to educate, promote, and influence the kingdom of Jesus Christ in this world. I am your host, Josiah. And before we get started, if you're new here, guys, I need you to do me a huge favor on YouTube. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button right below. Give me a like before we get started. And if you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and give me that follow button. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and jump into today's show.
Already flexing my God and all of his authority. Practice was preaching purity, priority. Can't conform to it, even his maturity. Choose to go that way, God has been restoring me. They grilling the boy, cause I won't let them George forming me. Try to put me in a box, I got off the ropes, I won't let them corner me. God has been warning me, telling me, tell his people ain't no room for lukewarming me. Order me, Lord, it be your will, it never was mine. Like Amazon Prime, his turnaround time of our prayer.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about a tragic subject, actually. It wasn't something that, I necessarily had planned to cover. But anybody that knows me has been watching the channel for a while. I'm into boxing. I watch boxing. A lot of you that may not even be into it, you've heard of Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua recently had, he was in Nigeria for, I believe, was for New Year's and, holiday vacation. And him and his trainer and I believe nutritionist, if I'm not mistaken, were in a car crash in Nigeria and they both died. And so I just wanted to bring this up. And these are the two gentlemen here, I believe, that you see on my right hand side, his trainer and his nutritionist, the two people that died. We pray for their families. Life is precious. Anthony Joshua was just, if you want to say it, on the top of the world. He's probably more recognizable now at the end of his career than he was even at the beginning, because of the fight he just had with Jake Paul. Everybody's talking about him. He's in the news. He's getting, new recognition that he didn't get before. And life can be like that over in a split second. And he was in a car crash that he could have lost his life. And both of his close confidants actually did lose their life. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up just this situation so you guys can, see this. And I think we're going to get on this here in a second, but I think he was just released from the hospital in Nigeria. But let me pull this up here for you. It's one of the pictures there of him in the car crash. And then this is, I believe this second one here is him when he was getting out. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Joshua, I believe he sustained some injuries as well in that car crash, guys. And we're gonna talk about something in here in a minute on his words, but he talked about actually life and how important it is. This is before this car crash happened. But I want to just read some verses here, guys, that talk about this. Guys, life is short. You know, and we think that life, you know, we have forever. We think that, you know, just because we're on the top of, you know, our life, whether it be career wise, financially, just in every way possible, and we just think we have forever. But the riches and everything that we have in this world is minuscule. That's why we need to focus on the hereafter than so much focusing on now. I'm not saying not don't chase your dreams, don't chase things that you want, but these things, they're fleeting. And we have to, one, be mindful of life and how short it is, but be mindful of that there is a life after this. Psalms 39, 4 and 5. Show me, Lord, my life and the end and the number of my days. Let me know how fleeting my life is. You have made my days a mere handbreadth, and the lifespan of mortals is nothing before you. Surely everyone is but a breath, even those who seem to stand firm. Life is fleeting, life is fast. James 4 and 14. How do we know what your life will be like tomorrow? We don't know, guys. We don't know if today is our last day. Your life is a mist. You see it for a little while and then it just disappears. Psalms 139 and 16. Your eyes saw my unformed body, and all the days ordained for me, and were written in the book before one of them that came before they came to be. This verse notes that God knows our days, but we do not know of them. So, guys, I'm going to pull up one more clip here pertaining to Anthony Joshua talking about life and the importance of it. And it really it just really ties into what occurred to him recently. So we're going to pull this up here just a moment.
And with the death thing, I don't know. I just look at life and I'm just like, man, it's crazy. Like all of this stuff here, believe it or not, is a big distraction, in my opinion, because in the grand scheme of things, like everything that I chase and everything that I want to own to make me feel relevant on this earth is not so important, because I can't take it with me. That's what's guaranteed is death. All that's going to be important is kind of like just living to the best of our capability. Ain't it mad how fast life will go? We'll be old, and one day all that will matter is living to the best of our capability. Like I went to see my granddad the other day, and he's very old now. And I was just thinking, like, all that matters to him probably is who's looking after him at his elderly age, because he can't really look after himself anymore. But it's mad that at one stage in his life, like going to work was the most important thing ever, and now to that business he's nothing because he's too old, and to him that work relationship he had with his life is nothing. It's not.
And what Anthony Joshua is talking about there, again, is something that, you know, we have to, it brings some realization that, you know, different stages in our life, we have, you know, different perspectives on life and what's important and what's not. And we have to continue to keep those things in our mind of what's important. And again, like you said, the most certain thing is death. Death is certain. Guys, so just wanted to read just some last things here pertaining to this, just to kind of bring our minds into how important and how precious life is, and that our spiritual life and our connection to God and having that relationship with God is what's most important. Because like you said, everything that we build up and obtain in life we think is important, but it's really not that important. Our spiritual relationship with God is important. Our salvation is what's most important. Spiritual gifts and relationship with God, knowing Christ's love being fulfilled with God's fullness, generosity and good works, using earthly resources to do good and share and help others. These are things that are important in life. Wisdom and understanding, finding joy in God's way over material gain. These are things we need to be living by. Eternal rewards, storing up treasures in heaven throughout faithful living. In essence, true riches are about heart alignment with God and using what we have for his purposes and securing eternal life and spiritual blessings. That your salvation with God is what's important. Your relationship with God is the most important thing. You having your salvation, you living your life in such a way that honors and pleases God, because that's truly what we're here for. Every riches that we can get, all the accolades, all the trophies and just achievements that we can obtain in this world, they really mean nothing without the true fulfillment of Christ. We were meant to worship. We were meant to honor. We were meant to be here for God's glory. And if we're doing things out of selfish ambition, then those are things that will never truly fulfill us. The only thing that's truly going to fill our cups is God. The only thing that's truly going to give us full fulfillment is God and having that relationship. Because again, like Anthony Joshua said, only thing that we are certain for is death. And we have to meet our maker towards the end. And at the time of me reporting this, he was in the hospital, I believe, for the last couple of days. He was just released yesterday from the hospital. So on good news, Anthony Joshua is in good health. He's good. So blessed that that brother's still alive. Wish him an amazing career. But I wanted to use this mishappening in his life as a way for us to kind of recalibrate and rethink about death, rethink about how short our lives are and how important our spiritual walk is, how important our relationship with God is that much more important. And we shouldn't worry about just material things and insignificant things that we seem to focus on in our youth and our day-to-day. The King Josiah TV podcast. Guys, if you have any comments about what we just talked about, the video we just went over, go ahead and drop a comment below. I want to hear what you got to say. I want you to argue with me. I want you to have a conversation with me. I love to do those sort of things. So guys, if you're listening again for the first time on YouTube, go ahead and smash the subscribe button. Hit the like if you've already been here. It helps this video get pushed out to more people. And if you're listening audibly on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, go ahead and give me that follow button. But all right, guys, I will see you next week.
But my salvation on me like it's a helmet. The way you sin is death, send you to hell quick. Wanted to be all about me, God, I was selfish. I was rebellious.